There was a time I was in a public place and my phone had gone off, which was very inconveniencing to me because I had calls to make, I had transactions to do. It was really inconveniencing, and I kept looking around just to spot anyone who would be in a position of a power bank. But I couldn't find one. While I was doing this, I was also not communicating to anyone my need. I was hoping that I would get a solution even just by observing and just looking around. Of course, I was uneasy and it could be shown. And so a neighbor of mine just asked, was concerned why I was uneasy, and I opened up to them. I told them I needed a solution to a problem that I was facing. Luckily enough, he offered. I was able to charge my phone. And so I made the calls and made the transactions that were pending. Why did I share this brief story even though it's not interesting? It's actually to bring to you the power of being vulnerable. That most of us can die with a problem when actually the solution is around us, is within our vicinity. Only that we have chosen not to talk about it, only that we've chosen to bury it deep inside us. Being vulnerable is actually choosing not to hide our emotions and desires from others. It's actually showing up to be seen. It's actually not being ashamed for being human. It is telling your emotions as they are without the fear of judgment. And do that, you are ready for the consequences that will come with that. Because much as it is easier said than done, being vulnerable is not an easy thing. It's not a walk in the park. You need courage to be vulnerable. I'm saying this because I have been through it. Not once, not twice, severally. Choosing not to communicate our problems to others is actually also a form of trauma, childhood trauma, because you might have been brought up in a family whereby you are not allowed to express your emotions, neither were your parents also able to communicate their emotions. And so you're brought up with this idea, this mentality of bottling up things within you. But there's good news, that being vulnerable is not a weakness, it's actually a strength. When you're able to talk about your problems, about your emotions, without the fear of judgment, that there's so many advantages that come with that. You'll find that your relationships will grow stronger. Maybe you're someone maybe you're a man and you've spotted a lady, or rather something that you really want. The minute you speak out, the minute you communicate your need, your desire, your emotion, there are two things involved. Either you'll be told yes or you'll be told no. And that comes with peace. At least you'll have gotten closure on the matter that is disturbing you. And that's the beauty of being vulnerable. And being vulnerable is not about just talking about your needs. It's not just talking about your emotions. It can be as simple as getting out there and telling someone, wow, I love your dress. I love how you're groomed. I love your shoes. I love the way you communicate. I love the way you carry yourself around. Complimenting someone. That can also be a sign of bingo. It can also just be approaching a stranger and engaging them in a talk. Being vulnerable can also help us to express our gratitude. It actually increases our gratitude. When you find yourself speaking about something that you are not able to talk about, it gives you some sense of wholeness, some sense of confidentiality, some sense of, carrying yourself with confidence. Maybe in your workplace, maybe at home, you've been asked something and you clearly do not know the answer. You clearly do not have the right word to use. Just telling the people, no, I can't, no, I'm not able to, is powerful. It gives you a lot of peace. It gives you a lot of strength. And you're able to carry on with your day rather than pretending to know something, pretending to be aware of things when you clearly have no idea. Be vulnerable. Speak out your problem, speak out your issue, but of course to the right channel. Don't go about parading your issues to everyone out there. Choose the right channel to use. Compliment people. Tell people how you love how they do their things. Tell people how you love their energy. Tell people how inspiring they are to you. By doing so, you are able even to know the strength that are deep within you, which boosts your confidence, which boosts your morale. You know, we have been brought up to understand that being vulnerable is a sign of weakness. That when you are able to talk about your emotions, you're able when you tell someone you don't know something, it's like you're bringing out the weak part of you. It's no. There's no way someone can know you are in need when you don't talk about it. And that's why you find a lot of people are going through depression. Because instead of talking about something, they chose to sleep with it, they chose to bottle it. And when they did that, it was having a negative effect on them. Being vulnerable is a strength. In fact, when people find you vulnerable, when people find you open, having an open mindset, not being afraid of opening up, you'll be attractive. People will find it easy and fun to be around you. The minute you bottle up your emotion, you bottle up your problems, the minute you pretend to be knowing something when you're not, it brings some ugly side of you. You'll find yourself repelling people. People will not be, willing to be around your company. And so cultivate the habit of being vulnerable. It is easier said than done, yes, but it's beautiful. It gives you some sense of peace. It gives you a sense of confidence. It makes you flow with people easily. But I will insist on this. Choose on who you open up to. Choose on whom you are vulnerable to, especially when they are deep matters, when they are critical matters of life. But choosing to tell someone they're looking good, choosing to compliment someone is actually not anything major. Be vulnerable. Speak openly about your emotions and see how that rolls up on you. You'll thank me later. You'll thank your pretty self. I hope this helps. I love you all.